Welcome to the Flashcast series by Full Spectrum Education.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today, Lockie's going to be taking us through understanding your emotional home. Take it away, Lockie.
Okay guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about understanding your emotional home and why it's important, what it actually is, and how you can use it to your advantage to live in a more empowered state, a more enjoyable way of living, right? So all of us, as I touched on an earlier episode, have empowering or positive emotions that we experience. And we also have the flip side of the coin with the disempowering or negative emotions. And every day we will have those thoughts, we're experiencing both sides of the coin, right? But which ones we choose to live in determines the quality of our life, right? So there's a lot of people, and I'll speak to the men directly here, a lot of us are chasing money, right? We want to be able to protect and provide and have the nice things. This is just a generalization, but from how I grew up, this is what we thought we needed and wanted. But as I said, the quality of your life is really based on where you live emotionally. So if you had $1 million or $10 million or $100 million and a beautiful family, but all you do is worry, then I would say the quality of your life or where you live is in a state of worry, right? You don't get to enjoy the $1 million. You don't get to necessarily always enjoy your beautiful family because majority of your emotional state is taken up or consumed by worry. So a good exercise you can do, and I would recommend pausing this in a moment once we've explained it, to do is grab a piece of paper. Okay, on that piece of paper on the left-hand side, write empowering emotions. On the right-hand side, write disempowering emotions. And spend about 2 minutes on each. I want you to write down all the empowering emotions you have experienced, or thoughts, that you have experienced over the last 7 days. All right, write them down so you might have happy, energized, focused, worthy. Okay, once you've had that 2 minutes, flip to the other side, set the timer, and we'll then go with disempowering all the negative thoughts and emotions. So it might be like fat, tired, lazy, unlikable, unworthy. Right? And just write down all of them that come to mind that you've experienced over the last 7 days. So go ahead and do that now. So now that you've done that, I want you to notice, is there more emotions that you've experienced on the empowering or thoughts that you've had on the empowering side of the column, or is there more on the disempowering? And from all the I've worked with hundreds of men, majority of them have a list of disempowering and negative thoughts and emotions that is, over 20 long. And then when we look at the empowering or positive thoughts or emotions, it generally sort of stops between 5 and 7. So looking at that alone, they've spent more time in a disempowered and negative state, negative emotions. So what we then look to do to change your emotional home is, I ask myself this question, I would ask you guys this question: what is one thing, right? One thing that you could focus on, one thought, positive thought or emotion you could live in that would eradicate all of those disempowering beliefs you had. Right, for me personally, it's worthiness. I'm worthy. And I gave away my last wristband yesterday, but I have it on a wristband. I am worthy. So whenever I start feeling those negative thoughts or emotions, sometimes they, I sit in that longer than others, but the goal is to get out. For me personally, the goal is to get out of that state as quickly as possible. But if I just focus on being worthy, and then I look to find moments in my life to validate why I am worthy, I can then snap myself out of it. And this is like a mental muscle, guys. It's not just do that and you'll nail it. It takes time, and for others, some people, they'll nail it instantly. Others, it may take time. It took me a while. I'm still working on it to this day. But if I can focus on being in an empowered state, and then I can start validating that, right? So how we sort of bridge that gap, right? You may say, all right, Lockie, my the one thing I want to focus on is being worthy, just like you, right? So that's a decision, right? We start with bridging the gap. So it's a decision. So once we make the decision that I am worthy, we then need to have things that we can focus on to support that decision, to allow us to remain focused on that, because as life happens, we generally forget a lot of decisions that we make. Right? I could decide, oh, I'm worthy right now, but then I could go out or go sit down at the computer and get an email that frustrates me, and all of a sudden I've forgotten about being worthy. So what do I need to focus on in order to feel worthy? For me, I've got various things that I focus on. One, that I'm fit and healthy. Two would be, that I'm in control of my life. So if I focus on taking ownership and responsibility for everything in my life, that makes me feel worthy. And three, a third one would be, if other people have done it, then why can't I? Right, so if I focus on those three things, it's like, cool, awesome. Now focus, it doesn't just stop there. Right? It's easy to allow our focus to go back to default thought patterns. So we might need to have some preps or some primers in order to to get you to remind you of the things that you choose or want to focus on. Right, in my office, I have a sticky note, and I have 2 questions and 1 statement. First question is what I'm doing right now adding value to myself or to other people? The statement is, don't explicit word around. So don't stuff around, essentially, so that I make sure that I'm not wasting my time. Okay, and the second question that I ask myself is, so the second one is this the best use of my time? So we can all set up things, and I go overboard, but I also know how easily I get distracted. So because I accept that I am a person that gets distracted, I use understanding that as a way to beat it. So I'll put reminders in the bathroom of things that I want to focus on or think about for the day. I journal every morning and think about what my intentions are for the day. Okay, I also meditate. I do all kinds of things that help me bridge the gap, that help support the way, or the things that I need to focus on, the way I need to be thinking, about the decision that I've made. And like I mentioned before, a lot of us believe that we can just have it all stored up in our head. And, some people are pretty incredible, but I also know that life is working against us. These telephones, Facebook itself has psychologists and stuff working to steal your attention. So, knowing that, I'm just like, cool, I'll play with that. I'll know that I need to set reminders. I set reminders on my phone that notify me 3 times a day. And from a business standpoint, the reminder that comes up 3 times a day is what I'm doing right now, making my business grow. And then I get to sit there and say, well, am I or am I not? And I get to decide if I need to change something. So that is it for today, and that's why, understanding the importance of your emotional home, even though I went on a big tangent there at the end, understanding where you want to live emotionally and spending time to put things in play and build an environment that allows you to live in that positive emotional state more will ultimately dictate the quality of your life. So thanks again. Next week we will be talking about the importance of staying strong.
Thanks for listening to today's Flashcast. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to email into us at info@fsedu.com.au, and be sure to tune into our social channels so you don't miss the next episode. Thanks, see you next time.